Let's make quick and easy adjustable whistle. Now, I did try to combine voiceover this time with the sound of the lathe, but also with the voice while I was turning, but something went completely wrong, and as you can see, I have lost all the sound in the footage itself. So what I'm doing here is just truing up the spindle. It's roughly 220 mil long with around 22 mil square. So this is sapele mahogany, so I'm using skew just to rough everything down. Now here I'm using 10 mil drill bit, that's 3/8 of an inch, and going roughly 3 inches deep, that's 75 mil. Now, a while back I did make another whistle video and you like it quite a lot, but this one is slightly different because it will have this sliding adjustable mechanism at the bottom, really simple one. And that will allow me to change the pitch of the whistle or the sound, so you can play around a little bit. So here a little tip, whenever you have something like this long of a dowel with the hole here, you can use a tailstock to support this end a little bit. So here I'm marking roughly where the hole is end, and this is roughly where I'm going to part it off at the end. So for the shaping here, just a simple shape, I'll be using this 25 mil, that's 1 inch wide skew. And here you can see I'm waving my hands importantly, as you can hear me, but there is no voice coming from the video, unfortunately, but the gestures are here, so it's quite funny to watch this post-edit. So you can see here a simple little cove or half cove on one side, and then just simple curve connecting at the very lowest point. So just simple cleanup, clean every little ridge that you can see. So here I'm just going to put a little V groove just to make a little separation once we make the adjustable part. Here I'm starting to sand with 240 grit, and I went up to 320 and just polish up with the shavings a little bit. So this next part is just to cut away the, I would say, escape hole for the sound. I don't know the correct terminology for this kind of stuff. And in this case, in this video, I did drop the tool rest down while I was using the saw. Although this one has a hardened tip rod, so it's not much of an issue. If you don't have any chisels around you, or any kind of carving chisel, you can use your skew if it's sharp enough to carve away a little V notch, as you can see here. I did saw roughly to the halfway of the diameter, and now I can just part it off. So nice and steady. I'm using thin parting tool. This one I was given as a gift from my mentor Richard Raffan, and here I'm just cleaning up this knob that was left and just put a little center hole, that way the tailstock will register nicely. So now this diameter is transferred with calipers. This is the exact diameter that I need for the little insert that we're going to carve, as well with a little flat spot to sort of redirect the sound or the wind that we blow into the whistle. Again, I don't know the correct terminology, so don't quote me on these things. So this is quite a rudimental explanation, let's say. So you can see a simple dowel, great project to start if you're a beginner, because there's a lot of sizing, so you just have to take your time to practice these simple cuts here. So the first test, it was just a little bit too big, and I was trying to peel here, but as it was quite away from the chuck and getting a little bit thin, it did vibrate a little bit. So that's why I transferred to planing cut with the skew, so it's a little bit less aggressive, and you can see now that fits nicely. And again, I'm using the same skew chisel. This one is 12 mil or 1/2 inch wide, just to make that little flat spot on the top of this little dowel, or this little insert that will go in the top of our whistle. So like I said, I was trying to experiment keeping my voice in the video that while I was turning, but also add a voiceover from time to time throughout the video. But as you can see, it didn't turn out as I was planning, but I will get there. And now I just need to part off this little insert, and the little guy just fell down, unfortunately, but I did find it in the shaving. So you can see I've glued in on top of the whistle here, and that part is done. So the main body of the whistle is done. So now we need to transfer to the adjustable part, which is actually quite simple. And I've done this in the past using the entire length of the dowel inside, but it does mean more friction. And what I've done, and you'll see that in a few seconds here, a little bit different to avoid that. So here again, I'm sizing the dowel down, and again, I hope you can see benefit of this project for beginners. So a lot of fine cuts, practicing cuts with the skew, or you can use any other tool, doesn't really matter, but it's great overall practice project, let's say. So here I'm just sizing down the dowel again to correct size, but I only need this little part at the very end, or very beginning, this part here that I'm cleaning up at the moment. So you'll see here I'm going to mark after I test this out first, and of course it's the wrong end first. And you can see this end just fits snugly inside. But what I'm going to do is just make a line roughly 12 mil away, 10-12 mil, doesn't really matter, and I'm going to scoop out the rest of the dowel here. So only the first part of this adjustable dowel here, this adjustable mechanism, will be in contact with the body of the whistle itself. So this will greatly reduce the friction. And later it will be much easier and faster just to fine-tune this little piece of dowel that's actually in contact with the body of the whistle. Hope that makes sense. You'll see a little bit later. So just cleaning up every meeting point that will meet with the body of the whistle. And here at the end cap, you can really do whichever shape you prefer. So endless possibilities here, just let your imagination go. So I'm just going with a simple half round, and you'll see here I'm using just a little bit of pressure, or basically none of the pressure, with the skew to part it off. And you'll see here I just had to do a little bit more, and you just want to the spindle that you're cutting off or parting off just to feel down how little of the pressure there is, and that is basically it. So a little bit of sanding at the end here. I'll first just clip it off, and that's it. A little bit of oil, and our whistle is done. And now let's hear it. Now it's time to actually test it out and see if it will work and if it will do its job to sort of annoy your loved ones. So let's see. Yeah, I would say quite good. A little bit of fine tuning with sandpaper just to make this glide a little bit easier, but you don't want to sand too much. It sort of make it too loose because the air will escape. So again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.